Have you ever wondered where the tradition of New Year's resolutions originated? It's a practice that many of us engage in, a global phenomenon that intertwines with the celebration of the new year. As we bid farewell to the old year and welcome the new, we often take this time to set goals, make promises, and vow to make positive changes. But have you ever stopped to ponder why we do this? This tradition of self-improvement and renewal at the start of a new year is not a recent invention. In actuality, it's a custom that has its roots deep within ancient civilizations, stretching back thousands of years. Our journey begins with the ancient Babylonians, a civilization that thrived around 4,000 years ago. Their new year didn't start in January as ours does, but in mid-March, coinciding with the planting of crops. It was a time of renewal, a time to start afresh. During a festival known as Akitu, the Babylonians made promises to their gods, vowing to repay their debts and return any items they had borrowed. This wasn't just about settling accounts, it was a spiritual endeavor. They believed that by fulfilling these promises, they could earn the favor of the gods and ensure a positive start to the year. As time moved on, this practice of making New Year's resolutions was adopted and adapted by different societies. From the ancient Romans making promises to Janus, the god of beginnings and transitions, to early Christians reflecting on their past actions and resolving to lead more righteous lives. Fast forward to today, and this age-old tradition still holds a significant place in our lives. We may not be making promises to ancient gods, but the essence of the practice remains the same. It's about self-improvement, setting personal goals, and striving for positive change. To understand the journey of New Year's resolutions, we must travel back in time, about 4,000 years ago, to ancient Babylon. So, strap in and prepare for a journey through time as we unravel the enigma of New Year's resolutions. The tradition of making New Year's resolutions began with the ancient Babylonians. Now, let's step back in time, around 4,000 years ago, to the bustling city of Babylon. Here, the new year didn't start on the 1st of January as we know it. Instead, it occurred in mid-March, with the arrival of the new crops. The Babylonians marked this time with a grand festival known as Akitu. This wasn't just any celebration. It was a 12-day event that served as a symbolic reenactment of creation and a reaffirmation of societal order. But more importantly, it was during this festival that the Babylonians engaged in an age-old practice that we might find familiar. They made promises to the gods. These weren't just casual promises, mind you. They pledged to repay their debts and return any items they had borrowed. Imagine your neighbor finally returning that lawnmower he borrowed last summer, but with a backdrop of a grand festival and an audience of gods. Why did they do this, you might ask? Well, these promises were more than just good neighborly behavior. The Babylonians believed that by fulfilling these promises, they could earn the favor of the gods. They wagered that if they started the year on the right foot, the gods would bestow upon them a year of good fortune. So, while we might not be making our New Year's resolutions to please ancient deities, the core idea is remarkably similar. Today, we make resolutions to better ourselves and our lives, hoping for a prosperous year ahead. The Babylonians, too, sought a prosperous year through their promises, showing us that the desire for self-improvement and a fresh start is a timeless human trait. This act was seen as a way to earn the favor of the gods and start the year on a positive note. From the ancient city of Babylon to our modern world, the tradition of making New Year's resolutions has certainly stood the test of time. From Babylon, we move to ancient Rome, where the tradition took on a different form. The Romans, known for their rich mythology and vibrant culture, also embraced the practice of making resolutions at the start of the year. However, their promises were not made to a multitude of gods, as was the case with the Babylonians. Instead, they were dedicated to a single deity, Janus, the god of beginnings and transitions. The Romans held Janus in high regard, as they believed he had the power to see both the past and the future. They saw the start of a new year as a pivotal moment of transition, a time when the old year was left behind and the promise of the new one lay ahead. In this significant period, they turned to Janus, hoping to gain his favor for the upcoming year. As part of their New Year's traditions, the Romans made promises of good conduct for the year to come. These resolutions were a form of moral inventory, an opportunity to reflect on past actions and make plans for self-improvement. They believed that by making these promises, they would earn the favor of Janus and be blessed with prosperity and success in the year ahead. Interestingly, our first month of the year, January, is named after this very god. It's a testament to the lasting influence of Roman culture that even today, thousands of years later, we still begin the year in a month named in honor of Janus, the god of beginnings and transitions. So, every time you jot down your resolutions for the new year, remember that you're partaking in a tradition that has its roots in ancient Rome, a tradition that was once a tribute to Janus, the god who could see both the past and the future. The Romans paid their tribute to Janus, hoping for a prosperous and successful year. The tradition of making New Year's resolutions was also prevalent among early Christians. With the turning of the calendar, these faithful individuals found an opportunity to assess their lives, reflect on their actions, and resolve to lead a more righteous life. The shift from societal to personal resolutions was a significant evolution in the tradition. Unlike the Babylonians or Romans who made promises to their gods, early Christians focused more on introspection and personal improvement. This shift was perhaps a reflection of the Christian emphasis on personal salvation and the journey of the individual soul. New Year's resolutions became a tool for these early Christians to examine their conscience, identify their shortcomings, and make a resolution to rectify them. This practice was not merely a secular tradition, but had deep spiritual connotations. The resolutions were not just about changing habits, but about pursuing a path of righteousness, a path that brought them closer to their faith. The new year was seen as a time of renewal, a chance to start afresh. Yet it was not just about physical or worldly renewal. For early Christians, the new year brought an opportunity for spiritual renewal, a chance to cleanse the soul and begin anew in their journey towards salvation. This tradition has carried on to modern times. While the nature of resolutions has evolved and diversified, the underlying principle remains the same. It's about looking inward, recognizing areas of improvement, and making a commitment to change. It's about using the new year as a stepping stone towards becoming a better version of oneself. In essence, for early Christians, the new year was a time of deep reflection and spiritual commitment. It was a time when they resolved to walk more firmly on their path of faith, to strive harder to live according to their religious teachings. The new year for them was not just about new beginnings, but also about personal spiritual growth. Fast forward to today, and the tradition of making New Year's resolutions continues, albeit with some changes. The essence of this time-honored custom remains the same, but the focus has steadily shifted over time from pleasing deities and settling debts to personal growth and self-improvement. In the modern era, resolutions have become a deeply personal affair. They are often centered around our individual aspirations and the changes we wish to see in ourselves. They serve as a catalyst for self-improvement, driving us to make positive changes in our lives. Whether it's to exercise more, eat healthier, learn a new skill, or simply to be kinder, these goals are a reflection of our desire to become better versions of ourselves. But it's not just about the individual. New Year's resolutions have become a global phenomenon, transcending cultural and religious boundaries. People from all walks of life, regardless of their cultural or religious backgrounds, partake in this tradition. They set their own personal goals, reflecting their unique aspirations and values. Yet, despite the diverse nature of these resolutions, a common thread runs through them all. They are all underpinned by the universal human desire for self-improvement and progress, echoing the ancient traditions from which they originated. Interestingly, the success rate of New Year's resolutions varies widely. Some people are able to stick to their goals and make lasting changes, while others struggle. This disparity underscores the challenges inherent in personal change and the importance of perseverance and commitment in achieving our goals. So, as we bid farewell to the old and welcome the new, let's remember the rich history of New Year's resolutions. Let's embrace the opportunity they provide for reflection and self-improvement, and let's strive to make the coming year better than the last. While the specific customs and rituals may vary, the underlying idea of self-improvement and renewal persists across cultures. So, why do we continue to make New Year's resolutions? New Year's resolutions are more than just a tradition. They represent a symbol of hope and renewal, an opportunity for us to reflect on our past year, and a chance to make changes for the better. They are a moment of introspection where we can assess our successes and failures, our growth and setbacks, our joys and sorrows. They provide an avenue for us to take stock of our lives, to contemplate where we are and where we want to go. Resolutions also allow us to set objectives for the future. Whether it's about leading a healthier lifestyle, learning a new skill, or being more mindful, these resolutions act as a roadmap to personal growth and self-improvement. They serve as a guide, a beacon that lights our path towards becoming better versions of ourselves. But perhaps the most significant aspect of New Year's resolutions is the spirit of optimism they embody. They are a testament to our undying belief in the possibility of change, in the potential for transformation. They echo the human spirit's resilience, our ability to bounce back, to rise from the ashes of our past mistakes and failures, and to forge ahead with renewed vigor and determination. Moreover, New Year's resolutions transcend boundaries of culture and geography, uniting people around the world in a shared endeavor of self-betterment. They are a global tradition, a universal practice that underscores our common human desire for progress and evolution. But let's not forget that the journey towards achieving our resolutions is as important as the destination. It's about embracing the process, about learning from our missteps, and about celebrating our small victories along the way. It's about understanding that change is a gradual process, and that patience, perseverance, and self-compassion are key to making our resolutions a reality. New Year's resolutions are not just about setting goals, but about hope, renewal, and the belief in self-improvement. The tradition of making New Year's resolutions has come a long way from its ancient beginnings. From the Babylonians, who saw the onset of a new year as a time to repay debts and return borrowed items, to the Romans, who made promises to Janus, the god of beginnings and transitions, history has witnessed the evolution of this tradition through the ages. The early Christians also adopted this practice, using the new year as an opportunity for reflection and resolution to lead a more virtuous life. These ancient customs may seem distant and disconnected from our contemporary practices, but they embody the essence of what we still do today. Our journey through history has shown us that the turn of the year has always been a significant moment for mankind. It's a time when we collectively pause, look back at the year that was, and look forward to the year that's to come. It's a time when we take stock of our lives, acknowledging our achievements and recognizing areas for improvement. In the modern world, as we pen down our New Year's resolutions, we are participating in a ritual that has been practiced for thousands of years. We may no longer be making promises to ancient gods or trying to earn divine favor, but the core principle remains the same. It's about self-improvement, renewal, and the optimism that we can change for the better. Whether we resolve to eat healthier, exercise more, learn a new skill, or give back to our community, each resolution is a testament to our inherent desire for betterment. Our resolutions reflect our hopes, our dreams, and our aspirations. As we welcome the new year, we carry forward a tradition that's as old as civilization itself, reminding us of our capacity for change and our eternal optimism for a better future.